I get up earlier than anyone. I'm up at the crack of dawn. Literally. Huh? In my head, yeah. I get up. Alright. Alright, mate. I get up. And I'm up. I got up at 4:43. Dude, I was scriping all along. Scriping. I was scriping my pan this morning because it was dirty. Because I made some food before I went to sleep at 2:30. Went to sleep at 2:30 and got up at 4:43. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. I was like, why? Why am I up? Why don't you shut the bloody door whenever you come downstairs? There's my door. And why are you on my computer? You're printing out a picture of what?
Jesus.
Jesus? Jesus? Oh, Jesus. Alright, hello, what's going on, guys? My friend is currently on speakerphone. I just wanna... There's really something I'm meaning to talk about, and a lot of people ask depression, the unspoken truth. No one is willing to speak about it, only because it's stigma, really. And if you speak about it, it's like you're banned from society. No one wants to talk to you, like there's something wrong with you. But if you have cancer, a disease, like depression, a disease. If you have cancer, you get treated well and everyone cares for you and you get all this treatment. Not that that's wrong, but if you have depression, you're banned from society, you're on your own, you get almost no treatment besides medication, which is what cancer people get, but they get that special treatment. But with depression, it's like stigma, really, is the only word I can use to define it, but no one wants anything to do with you. It's like your whole family doesn't love you. Hold on one second. Anyways, it's like stigma, and if you tell people you have depression, it's like you're really banned from your family. No one wants to hang out with you. It's like there's something seriously wrong with you. And like I was saying before, it's like the people with cancer, not that there's anything wrong with that, and I'm not hating on those people, they all say something wrong with them, but I'm saying those people get all kinds of treatment, hospitalized, and crazy amounts of medication and special treatment, and their family adores them more than they did. Like, you glorify the dead, but no one glorifies someone with depression. They only hate them more, and you're on your own. And this doesn't help when you're on your own, because if you tell your family, I'm depressed and I need help, well, it's more like they're just like, well, screw you. You're on your own. You're not depressed. Just wake up. Just stop, and you can't, really. I remember a couple years ago, I'd say the middle of my depression, because it lasted about 5.5 years, 6 years. My grandma literally told me straight to my face whenever I was depressed. I was laying in bed and I was sleeping, and it was probably 3 in the afternoon. She literally told me, sat me up and said, I had several kids. I didn't have time to be depressed. And I was just thinking, wow, she said that, because she didn't know what it's like. After a while, she came to me and she did realize what was wrong with me, as well as my mom. My mom picked up a book and started reading, because she reads a lot. She said she sat there for 3 hours in the bookstore, and I wish she'd be here to tell you this, but she said she read that book for 3 hours, up to over 6 chapters, and she said every word of that book was like describing me. And then that's when she realized that there was something wrong. And that's when I did start getting some treatment, but I did refuse a lot of it. My best advice to someone that is starting depression is really, I don't want to sound like, every other adult out there, but a good sleep pattern and a good diet is honestly, and I say this because it's the truth. And, okay, let me give you a good example. The difference between depressed and sad, there's typically a reason, and sad isn't permanent. It could last a day, but that's really it. I couldn't see anybody being sad for any longer. They get over it. When you're depressed, there's typically, and I'd say like 86% of the time, there is no reason why that person is depressed, and they cannot figure it out. And no one can, because no one can read their mind and backtrack what happened in their life. So there's actually a brain, obviously you have a brain, but there's this piece in your brain, and it's just crazy to me. I've done my research. It literally shrinks. A piece of your brain shrinks because you're depressed. And that part that shrinks is basically your happy thoughts and what makes you happy. I'm not talking about the chemicals in your brain. I'm talking about an actual piece of your brain shrinks, and I just find that mind-blowing that when you're depressed, that happens. So whenever that part shrinks, another piece in the top of your brain, it tries to compensate for that, but instead it can't, and it overreacts. And what I mean by that is, if a depressed person, say, loses a football game, they're going to take it way harsher than someone who does have that piece in their brain and has not shrunk and they're not depressed. So I remember, and it makes sense, because whenever I was depressed, and I kind of still am, it's bipolar right now, but I remember a lot of times whenever I actually did get up and participate with the family with stupid things like touch football, swimming, I'd get super down about stupid stuff that I shouldn't have. And that's what really, I look back and wow, like that's all because of, depression. There was something wrong with me, and I was scared to tell other people in the family because I thought they would look at me like there was something seriously wrong with me. And there was something seriously wrong with me, but I thought they'd look at me in the wrong way, like they didn't want anything to do with me kind of way. And that's just depression making me think that way. And if you're really at the start of depression, it's not that bad, but it can get that bad if you don't get yourself figured out. And what I mean by get yourself figured out is get a good sleep pattern, a good diet, and a daily routine. I have a routine, and I think that helps. And even if you don't want to get up in the morning to, get your quote-unquote sleep pattern working, you really, really have to be strong and just push through it as much as you can. Even if you don't want to do it, just keep thinking to yourself, this will make me feel better. This will make me feel better. But, you just have to try. You can't say you tried when you didn't really, really try. You really have to try. Anyways, like I was saying, you got to get that good daily routine down, that healthy diet, and you just have to push through it no matter what. And like I was saying earlier with the scientific stuff, it's called the hippocampus, is the piece I was thinking of. And the hippocampus is a U or a horseshoe-shaped piece in the lower half front of your brain, and it's responsible for memories and feelings. The enigma, kind of right above it, or right between it, I think, is the one responsible for a majority of emotion. And correct me if I'm wrong, please. I don't like being, wrong, of course. Who doesn't? So, when people say you're depressed, people don't realize it's an actual epidemic and it's an actual, disease. And it, there are you can go get a CAT scan, and like a person that, this is a bad example, but someone who's on, this is a good one, okay. Someone who smokes crack and someone who is addicted to sugar, the reaction in the brain is identical. So you can be addicted to sugar as the same as someone who can be addicted to crack. So depression can actually be seen on a brain scan or a CAT scan, whatever you want to call it, but it can actually be seen. But when you're sad, it's undetectable. You cannot see it because it's a temporary feeling. Not saying depression is permanent, but it can be permanent if you don't do something about it. So I recommend everyone do something about it. And if you're feeling the slightest bit of depression, I was lucky to have a mother that, helped me as much as she could in any way. She cried with me when I cried. She was just there for me. I was really thankful that I had her to help me with everything, every step of the way. But I didn't tell her 2.5 years in, and that didn't help at all. So I recommend, if you're feeling the slightest bit of depression, you tell the closest person you have, even if it's your best friend. Like my best friend Morgan, I'm on the phone with right now. She hopefully does not talk. Sorry. Anyways, she was probably one of the first people I ever told, and she knows what I went through because she went through the same thing, and we had each other. So it's kind of like that. So I recommend you tell anyone you can trust. And if you're depressed, you're thinking, I can't trust anyone. Dig deep. I pray you dig deep and you will find someone. And if you can't, tell your mother, dad, grandma, whoever is in your family that you're closest with. So, recap of everything. Get that healthy diet down. Get that daily routine. And you really got to push through it. And I really don't have much more to say than that. But if you do need me, I don't have links in the description, but I do have my names to everything, like my Twitter, which I don't use, my Facebook, I kind of use. I'm on my Instagram quite often. What else is there? Kick. I use Kick a lot. You can reach me there. That's probably your best bet. What else is there? Snapchat. I'm on Snapchat a lot. You can also reach me on my Snapchat. Everything is in the description. So, like always, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. So, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.